Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 7 wish list houseplants that I would like to bring into my life. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explain 2 little things. The first one is going to be a disclaimer. All of the photos that I'm using today are stock images that I got off of Google. I do not own the rights to any of them. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is a lot of the plants that I'm going to mention today are of the variegated species. So what that means is a variegation on a leaf or a plant means that there's different patterns, mostly in like a white or a cream or a yellow type color. They can run to be a little bit more expensive than the more common non-variegated version of that particular plant. One thing to understand about a variegated plant is that because they're so expensive, it's because one of the reasons is because they need a proper good amount of light to continue getting that same variegation on the new leaves. You need to be making sure that you can properly bring this plant into your home and provide it with that proper lighting so it can continue to live its life the way that you would like to, or else you're just going to get disappointed if your plant decides to revert back to no variegation and you're not going to get the gorgeous strains of variegation in the leaves. Thirdly, I have notes, so if you see me looking down, I don't care. I don't know. Sorry. These are in no particular order. There are 7 of them. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is in order. It is my number 1 wish list plant. It is the Thai Constellation Monstera. I'm going to post some photos right here, and I'm going to put the Latin on the bottom of the screen. The Thai Constellation Monstera has probably been my most wanted wish list plant since I started all of the plant stuff about a year ago. The 1.5, so I kind of like to pair these 2 together. It would be the Monstera Albo. Again, gorgeous plant. So the price range for these particular plants are very high. These ones can range from $300 to $600 for just a cutting. For a rooted cutting, you are going to be looking at paying more on the higher price range of things. The way that I like to try to tell these 2 apart, they are very similar, but so the Monstera Albo is more of like a white, like a pearly white variegation, and it's more like streaks of white, whereas the Thai Constellation I find is more of like a yellowy golden white. It's a lighter, and it's more like a constellation, so galaxy, like the stars. That's what it reminds me of. The third plant that I'm going to talk about today is the Begonia Vine, Cissus discolor. When I found out that this Begonia was a vining plant, I lost my marbles. I love begonias. I love Rex begonias. I particularly love Rex begonias because they are a very affordable, cost-friendly houseplant to own, and they are easy to come by where I live, and I just absolutely love the beautiful colors and the patterns on these leaves. And they adapt to a very low light situation, so easy to bring into your home if you don't have that proper lighting or the windows to give this plant. So when I found that there was a gorgeous, stunning, trailing Rex begonia, I lost my marbles. And again, if you don't like the trailing aspect of that, you can put a moss pole in there, you can put a trellis and have it climb it, or you can just do whatever you want. This particular plant that I was looking at was about $65 for an 8-inch pot, very lush. So with that price range, if you keep in mind, if you want something smaller, I'm sure you can find it at a smaller price. All these prices are going to vary depending on the size of the plant, if it's cutting or if it's an actual plant. So the Begonia Vine, I actually found on a website that I have purchased plants off of before. It is a nursery based out of Regina, Saskatchewan, and I do believe they also have like a little pop-up shop in Martinsville, Saskatchewan. I've dealt with them before, great company, and I will probably be ordering more plants in the next maybe about a month or so when it just gets a little bit more warmer outside. And their prices were very well, especially with the shipping. The next 4 plants that I'm going to be talking about today are ones that I found on Etsy. I put the filter for Etsy for all over the globe, so whether or not they're from provinces over the US or on the other side of the world, these prices can definitely range, but I feel like these are a good ballpark for them. So the 4th one that I'm going to talk about today is the Fatsia Japonica variegated. I do own a Fatsia Japonica, a green one. I actually found it at a nursery a few months ago, and it was $45, and I hummed and hawed about it, and I did not get it. A couple months later, I went to that same nursery, and they were still there, and I snatched that guy. So now that I know that there is a variegated version of it, that is definitely something that I need to bring into my life. I think it's a gorgeous plant. The leaves are huge, and they just bring so much joy to me. I have mine on my front step, and every time someone comes to my door, that's the first plant that everyone always like mentions to me. So the 5th plant that I'm going to talk about today is the Syngonium Albo. So I love Syngoniums right now for the summer, and definitely my favorite houseplant at the moment. This particular plant can range between $50 and $100. It does have that beautiful white variegation. I do have a couple of varieties of it, but I will definitely be trying to get my hands on this as soon as I can. The 6th plant that I'm going to be talking about today is the Pictum Tricolor. This is probably my number 2 wish list plant. I found it a long time ago, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I need to have this plant. The plant leaves remind me of like a camo. It is a gorgeous plant, and I am absolutely in awe of it. Plant is more expensive. It can range from the $200 to $300 price range, but I'm willing to spend that because this is just a stunning, gorgeous plant, in my opinion. Like, come on. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about today is a plant that's not so common here, but it is something that will periodically pop up, is the Philodendron Pink Princess. I'm just getting into the philodendrons in my life, and it's something that I feel like I'm pretty good at. So when I know that I'm pretty good at a plant species, I'm going to move up into a rarer one, and the Philodendron Pink Princess is something that I think that I can handle. So this one is between the $60 and $150 range, and gorgeous pink leaves, and I just think it's a stunning plant, and I definitely want this plant to be in my life. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I just also want to one more time let you guys know about the variegated plants. If you plan on bringing them into your house, just make sure you have the proper environment and the lighting conditions to give to them, or else you may be disappointed. And again, all the photos that I used in this video, I do not own the rights to them. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. If you have any of these plants, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know if you have them, some pictures, where you got them, and how much they were. And until next time, XOXO, MM.